What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're back with Jubilee, and we got If White Men Were 100% Honest. Now, look, it's Black History Month, man, so we can't talk too crazy. Nah, but all jokes aside, though, not all jokes aside, but imagine someone just come in and drop the meanest hard R, like, would they even post this? Now, you can't post that on YouTube unless you bleep it out. And also, if they say something else that's not the hard R, if you bleep something out, I'm gonna just assume they said the hard R. But for real though, obviously they're not gonna just be like, let them say whatever, because unless you're paying them and be like, oh, you know, if you go and say some different stuff, then we're not paying you. They're obviously gonna ask them questions and go on a certain conversation. But I'm ready to jump into this. But before you do, make sure you thumbs up and subscribe, and let's get it.
We brought together 7 strangers, protected their identities, and created a space for them to be completely honest. What will be revealed when they take the mask off?
No future, man.
Everyone is racist.
Oh, okay. Hold up. It depends.
Like, nobody wants to think of themselves as racist, and I don't think that I'm racist in the way that I think we think about racism.
Exactly.
I took the question as these like inherent biases.
Exactly.
That everybody has, and I think most of the time, most people are not aware of this.
It's weird. I think there's like this new generational divide of like, you are a racist or you said a racist thing. And I don't know where the line is. You might say something a little racist or something you don't see.
I'm blocking it, but bro got my name. That's tough.
Oh, I'm so sorry, apologize. And if you argue that point against them, then I would say you're a racist. But if you understand, you come to understand and you learn, everyone should be able to forgive that person and be like, no, you made a mistake. People make mistakes. I don't know. I feel like it's a binary. Yeah.
So I think a really important thing that kind of
Shut
is
my
tough
fuck.
with cancel culture right now is that road to
Exactly.
redemption. And so after you've said something wrong, how do you make yourself right again in the public sphere? At least personally, I feel like I don't see that a lot with cancel culture. Is if someone makes amends, there's now an acceptance like, hey, you did something wrong, but you're okay now, or at least better.
I think social media kind of incentivizes against redemption. And
Exactly.
I feel like it's just outrage. And I do think people do like the rush of anger. I don't think people really believe in redemption.
Exactly.
I guess, just kind of disagree.
Like they said in The Dark Knight, The Dark Knight Rises reactions coming in later, but The Dark Knight, some men just want to see some people just want to see the world burn. I don't remember if it was men or people, but
Idea of racism as a binary, it kind of goes back to that like really old meme where like Skipper says like, we did it, Mrs. Obama, racism is over. The idea of a redemption is just like, all right, they've fixed their racism, in the sense that like I think the redemption that our society is calling for is impossible. It's almost like you need to like write a check every time you make a racism, and like that will absolve you of your thing, where I think like what we should be doing is like the idea of growth towards a better understanding.
see, I agree with that one. With everyone is racist, including me. It's like, it's to the, let's just say, in a aggressive or violent or whatever. I don't know how to explain it. Like, I'm trying to give an example. So you obviously have your you dirty racial slur, or even racism that's like, okay, this is a quote unquote like positive racist stereotype, whether it be like, oh, black men have big dicks, or Mexican people work harder than everyone else, things like that, or certain things where it's just like, okay, if you see a black male and they look like this, then, you know, they might be, you know, confrontational. So it's just different layers to it. Like, if I'm just walking down the street and there's like, I don't know, someone, like some random lady, and she has her kid and maybe like grabs her kid a little closer, that's different. You know, it is what it is. It's not a big deal. But she's like, get away from my daughter. I didn't even look at your daughter, man. If you don't back up, like, or even worse than that.
I have struggled with my sexuality.
I felt an attraction to men really young, and but I didn't connect to gay culture at all. And I was like, I'm either straight or gay. It can't be another one. So I very consciously put myself in the closet. And
So are you bi?
You know, I didn't feel confidence to like be my own person. You know, obviously in high school. And slowly but surely, I started to come out to more people and talked about my experience and stuff. But people come out in the closet. That's one thing. That's the second step. The first step is like
Accepted.
really kind of like acknowledging
Yeah.
it and like loving yourself. And that was the hardest part.
I've been having a sneeze for like 2 minutes, bro. It's not coming. Pause.
I'm happy.
It's ironic.
Now
Okay.
very comfortable with my sexuality, and you know, I know it's a spectrum, but I think I'm for the most part straight. I struggled with depression for a long time, and I think one of the side effects of that for me was I fell into an eating disorder, and I got really skinny, and because I was struggling with an eating disorder, it made me, for some reason, question my sexuality. And I understand how messed up that is now. I started to ask myself, why did you associate that one with the other?
Yeah, I'm confused.
I think it was because it's just not largely talked about with straight men, that we can still struggle with mental health and eating disorder. I have a very core memory, somebody might say.
All right, so I want to clarify what this question is asking. Like, listen, I seen some videos. I was like, okay, can I actually imagine myself in this situation? And like, the first time was the first time that, you know, when you get to a certain age, things start happening. So I was like, oh, let me see this. And so, you know what I'm saying? I was like, okay, yeah, that's not for me. Y'all got it, bruh. And then the second time, this was like, I don't know when this was. I don't know if this was high school or whatever, or after high school, or I don't remember when. All I know was that the first moment I was talking about, that was more middle school, like maybe like 7th grade or something like that. And then maybe this was like later in high school or something like that. And, you know, you ask the questions like, oh, would you do this for this amount of money? And then I had to start thinking about it. I'm like, okay, I'm trying to imagine. I'm like, oh, I could imagine that. I mean, if this had this amount of money, then, you know, I guess, like, one thing, I forgot what it was. Oh, now I'm not even about to talk about that. But one thing that, like, I could never, like, I'm not saying this to like be like, oh, this about these people. I'm just saying one aspect of this that I can't really connect with. I don't think I could successfully be paid to kiss a man. Like, if I got to do other things and close my eyes for an amount of money, then I don't know. I guess I really didn't Oh, this is at struggled. Okay, never mind. My bad, y'all.
To my house after the first day of first date.
But basically, for an amount of money, I can probably try to imagine something else. But making out like the bears right there, like, I mean, even if they're clean shaven, I'm gonna still be thinking about. Okay, I gotta continue, bro, cause
And my mom kind of laughed and she's like, "Oh, boys don't have crushes on boys," and I was like, "Cool, got it, awesome." Just put that in the back of my mind, and I'm still working with like the idea that if I have a crush on a man, that's not inherently disgusting, because what's more disgusting than a man wanting you? Or like you said, like connecting to the gay community, unless you fit like it seems the tiniest of boxes, is really hard. And even now, like I went out last night and I had somebody that I kind of like caught my eye, but I had no idea how to approach that. It's like everybody else got like a manual and like 17 easy steps to not have social anxiety when in the club. And I'm just like, I guess I was sick that day. I didn't get that class. I didn't sign up for it on LinkedIn. Just, sorry, I'm using humor to cover it. No, I went up to a guy and said, "You're so handsome," and I was like, "Oh my god, that sounds like I'm an old woman." You know, they're like, "You're so handsome." It's one of those things where it's like, oh, obviously don't say that.
not even like someone your age.
Yeah. It's like, do I not think that he's handsome? I don't know. Yeah.
That's something I don't get, bro. I mean, not to the excitement that you kind of said it, but like, it will always weird to me that like people will be like if I'm a guy, oh, all other men are ugly. Like, come on, bro, let's be for real. You could look at someone and be like, oh yeah, that's an attractive man, or you know, they got a nice physique, or yeah, that even though you don't have any attraction to them, oh that he has a nice smile. That's something I never got, bro. Like that people like, I don't know, people really, there's this difference between someone being attractive and you being attracted to someone.
Have you ever been confused by consent before?
Not in a
I've been in instances where
not in my situations, but
relationships where I can go too far because I misinterpreted consent, and just because people seem comfortable with something, you kind of go along with it. Yeah, I think the reason I said yes was just thinking very specifically about a situations where both of us have been really drunk or something like that, where it's like, it's not one person's sober and the other person's drunk and the drunk person's saying yes, but if you're both drunk and both consenting and into it in the moment, and then the next day, like I've had like neither of us really consented. Is anybody in the wrong here? You know, and so that's kind of what I thought of when I heard I've been confused about consent. It's not as much in the moment, but after the fact in that scenario.
I can't really
That situation is
get to
pretty
that
scary.
situation. I'm straight edge. I don't, drink or anything like that. But when I say agree and disagree because I haven't been in that situation, but agree to the fact of I have less moments because I don't want that to happen. Okay, computer.
Because you interpreted it one way, and if someone was hurt and you didn't mean to do that, and you didn't take the precautions for that, you're still at fault. And that sucks. And I'm not saying that's your situation.
Yeah.
That's the kind of world we live in, where we can really get in trouble sometimes, even when we don't mean to hurt others. It sucks. Yeah, I think that's the whole thing about consent is it's not always just like this guy being like, oh, come on, like, there's such a finer line and there's so many gray areas that it's really
See, that's mainly what I'm talking about.
because there can be so many different scenarios that are still non-consensual. So
Women have more power than me.
Physically, no.
Yeah, I definitely don't think women have more power, and I think some people might think that just because you're seeing growing relative power that some men might not be used to. Now that women are kind of getting closer to being equal, some
Okay,
people
yeah.
might feel
This
like
one
they're
was an
getting more
L.
power and they might be more powerful. And so I can understand why someone might perceive that as relative, but absolutely I don't agree that like women have more power. I think we're
In
getting
certain
closer
in
to
certain
that
situations,
point
they
where
don't.
It's a work in progress.
I don't know. It's like a yes and no.
Yeah, what are we really
question.
talking about?
I was harassed by a superior who was a woman at a previous job, like repeatedly harassed. I reported it to my boss, who was a white male, and he just laughed it off and said, toughen up, Buttercup.
Exactly.
When women are harassed, I think if I was a woman and I reported harassment,
You'd-
especially right now with Me Too and
Yep.
everything, CEO would see
Done.
a huge red flag, a huge possible controversy.
You're
and
out of
I know
there.
there's definitely, ways when that isn't true, but for me it was just like, we don't care. You're a man. Toughen up. I don't give a shit. Like, she's a woman. She can't harass you. And it was really hard. I'm sorry. And I was really scared, and like, if I didn't have some, good women in my life and some good people, I wouldn't have taken action. I would have just toughened up, and I would have let it kill me inside. Sorry that happened. I'm so sorry.
So what was the aftermath of that?
Fantasy.
I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one, Chief.
Okay. So I said yes because like I can't think of a specific time, but like I believe I have at one point. It's more like role playing under very strict guidelines.
Okay, I
and
can see that.
saying that my partner will stop if I ever get too uncomfortable. In terms of like fantasizing about actually doing the very illegal and immoral act.
Okay, bet. I'm like, all right. Well, I guess no one sees your face.
The fiction you
Police is just outside.
to a certain extent, as long as it's ethically made. Porn, like, it's exploring that healthily, I think, is valid, and it's something that I think I have done in the past. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I explore it in porn, but like personally, no. Like it freaks me out too much. I do have like this kind of feel.
See, it's like a thing where it's just like, okay, yeah, I don't know. He really like hit it on the nail with that one. Like, but if it's like, oh, a random day on this month, I'm gonna be pretending to be like a robber and like role play thing like that, and let's just all right. Right now it's February. Let's just say a random day in March. Here's a little script outline, cause obviously even just what's the word? Even just improv in that is kind of too much for me. I gotta have like a little background with that. But besides that little situation stuff like that, the role playing, that shit dead.
Be dominated by a man, or a woman. That's more in porn than like in real life. I feel like I'd be freaked out in real life if that happened. But
so in this situation where you're doing this, like with your partner that you stated, are you the person that is receiving this idea of
you're saying, am I playing
Okay, yes.
the assailant or the victim?
yeah, are you
The role I'm playing would be that of the assailant.
Okay. That was a good question.
My partner would be the victim. Due to like social anxiety and like just a lot of things that keep me like a more like docile and submissive person, I like exploring a more dominant side via power dynamics in a safe environment, obviously. When you're assaulted, like sexually assaulted, you don't have a choice in the matter, but when you are role playing it, you can say, like a safe word. And that you have
Okay.
control.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's that control's robbed from you, it messes with you. I think that's the distinction with the role play.
I feel like we kind of have a misunderstanding here. I at least think that it's really insensitive, at least, to be doing these role plays because you will never be able to feel what these people feel, and
That's why it's like
kind of off shifting to know that that's something desirable.
I understand that, and like I said, it is something like obvious. I've never experienced it, and so my fantasy kind of might come from like a position of privilege.
And I'm gonna be okay. Yeah, I gotta switch that. So someone's gonna dig that shit up in like fucking 6 years and then not even keep this part. But nah, it's more of the role play. It's not even that. Cause like I'm thinking like, okay, you know, the teacher role play or the police officer role play. What do you got to do to get out this ticket? Or you need to stay after class. Okay, I could give you this D on the test, or you can give me your duck. But that, yeah, okay, all right. So
That's
okay.
why I'd like to explore it in a healthy way to figure out like why exactly I feel that way. And I understand. Like,
At first, when bro started talking, I was just like, all right, bro, be like, obviously you don't mean it like that, but I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
It has the potential to sound like incredibly like jarring and shitty.
The way you're explaining it, though, like, that's why I'm asking you questions, because I can instantly assume that you're a person, but now that I see the way you spoke to me, and you obviously have some feelings about it that you've thought to yourself over time, so, like, I just want to
I appreciate
that. But, and I think that the way we handled it is kind of a good way to communicate with others and understand issues.
Like I appreciate the way you ask the questions and stuff like that. So.
I have been abused.
I could tell he's never talked about that before.
Yeah, I mean, I've been. I've been going through it. You go through it.
No, I think I've just been abused two ways, and abused is such a, again, like, can mean so many things.
Yeah, exactly.
Abused emotionally in a relationship.
Everyone kind of.
Or sexually, but definitely emotionally. And then I've been abused as like an employee to an employer. Again, not sexually or physically, but just abused their power over me.
As I talked about, I got harassed by an older female employee, and working through it, it's always a process. I don't know. My family, we've endured emotional, physical abuse from my father, and I'm sure a lot of people can, attest and say the same things.
Mm-hmm.
He lives in a whole other country now, so I don't really talk to him. I need that guidance. When I'm going from 14 to 18 years old, that's like a really important time. So it's really hard to have to deal with that on your own. The worst part was when I told him about some of the issues I had because I didn't have them because of the way he, hurt me. He kind of just said, "Yo, that's your fault. Like, you can't blame me for that and put it on me." I think this kind of ties into bringing in how sometimes I feel like as a white man,
You can't really say nothing.
Exactly. You're always been taught to suck it up. I'm sure all of us have been told that multiple times in life. Suck it up. Buttercup, I heard over here one. So yeah, for you, I remember with your boss telling you that that wasn't valid. That's not fair.
I don't think just because you're a man or white, you can't be abused. I was told that growing up.
I think abuse.
See, I never really, I never was really the white man. This that. Like, I think that shit is fucking stupid. Like, now obviously, like, I'm gonna be like joking and shit like that, about everyone. Like, for instance, I'm supposed to be a leadership role at my job, and then someone basically was saying like if they don't get paid more, they about to leave, and then so they make a little bit more money now, and so, and like he's white, and I'm like everyone boss man's here, and be like, hey, he's master now, like just joking and trolling shit like that. We cool, but I think that that whole thing of can a black person be racist? I think that shit is stupid. Or can a white man say anything about something else? Now, obviously, it shouldn't really hold the same weight unless within that confinement. Now, let's say, all right, for instance, if we're just talking about something all the way another spectrum, something about black women, that has nothing to relate with you. You can obviously give your little opinion in 2 cents, within that situation. But I'm trying to give an example of how, like, all right, let's say if we're saying something, oh, just say there's a group of friends and they're all black or whatever, and maybe they blast music type shit. Oh, the white man, da da da. Bro, he's your neighbor. He trying to sleep, bruh. Stuff like that.
Power dynamic, and like even like all of us, we're white men. There's always somebody above us. There's
Not me. I'm just
richer,
okay.
whiter man, I guess. So like, what is exactly the top? Because there's always somebody I think above us to abuse us, and that's just not really talked about.
Yeah,
Really
that's a
quickly,
good point.
I just want to do one thing. There's going to be no talking. The last question I have, and you cannot elaborate on your opinion
Wow.
either way, is the era of white men is over.
Almost. You gotta think because like you can't elaborate, so
Really
it's
want
like
to elaborate on
Yeah,
that.
that's a good one.
yeah, I think it's almost. I think it's almost over, but and I only say almost because I forgot what they said when it came to like talking about, I don't even remember what class it was in school, but basically, or maybe it was just like a video I had seen or article I had read where it was just like showing what would the typical human look like in this year and like 1,000 years from now or whatever. Or there was like, oh, this is the percentage of white men in this decade, and now 100 years later this is what it looks like, and then 100 years in the future this is what it look like, will most likely look like. But the reason I say it's almost over is because if we go back to this question right here, like, you're always gonna have them at this point in politics. Now, I wanted to say, women might have more political power, but not in politics, if that makes sense. Like, there would always be white men in, let's say, politicians when it comes to like presidents, governors, mayors, or whatever, more or less than the women, at least for right now. But like when I say politics, I mean like how when he was talking about harassment, but from I think he said a manager or whatever, how he went to his superior, and his superior just told him to suck it up. But if you flip the script, he gone like this, like you're out of there, buddy. There's no talking. We wish you the best in your future endeavors. Get out my door, like, leave. You disgust. Everyone looking at you. You're disgusting. People damn near about to spit on you. Probably do. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this one. Let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. Let me know what y'all would answer with these. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this one. Let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. If you like the video, make sure you drop a like, subscribe, share it with your friends. Stay tuned for the next one. It's been a reaction by the world's coolest nerd, and I'm out. Peace.